When it comes to the NVIDIA Shield, what are your thoughts about that device, especially since it does have that controller type console experience?
Yeah, well, one of the things that we've been really focused on in general as a brand, Oddworld, is because we're self-published indies today. You know, so we're in a different category, which means we're going to live or die whether the gamers think we're worth continuing to support or not. That's really what's going to dictate our future. And so as we look at things like the Shield in particular, it has some unique configurations with the controller. It's our ambition to always optimize that in a way that really pays a tribute, that gives respect to that specific device. Because what we recognize in the market is that there are passionate sectors that emerge. That in cameras you have Nikon versus Canon, PlayStation versus Xbox. But here, we feel like whichever side of the camps you fall on, whatever controllers become your favorite, whatever devices become your favorite, if we're going to be on that platform, if we're going to be utilizing it, we try to take the extra care and attention to pay attention to those special features and maximize them in a way that maybe not everyone is, or maybe the install base might not be enough yet for big publishers to be interested in it to really move their needle. But we look at it and we go, there's going to be a portion of very passionate people about specific configurations like a Shield controller. And so it's our ambition and our desire to always utilize that in a special way that makes the game a little bit better on that. An example was, we did that not this previous Christmas, the Christmas before, for the PS Vita. And it was Stranger, actually, Stranger HD. And then in 3 territories globally, we took #1 at Christmas. And it wasn't because we had a big ad campaign. It wasn't because it was a brand new game. It was a new game on the platform, but it was because we spent that special care and attention on the controller, utilizing it in a way that made that device feel very sort of like a native experience for that IP on that device. And that's what we intend to do with the Shield as well. And like I said, Square One's been a great company to work with. Oddworld's thrilled. And so Stranger on mobile will be coming out shortly. I'm playing it. I can't believe I replayed Stranger twice with just my thumbs, which I didn't think would work. But I think we brought some innovations to the interfacing of the touchscreen that helps like first-person shooting, things of that nature. And even though there is first-person shooting in this game, it's really hilarious the way it unfolds. So it's not the traditional, sort of violence fest, but there's a lot of challenge there.
What are your thoughts about the Tegra K1 technology and how fast things are evolving in the mobile space?
It's really, it's intimidating and exciting, right? Like 10 years ago, John, we would say, what is the game industry? We all knew that answer pretty clearly. Today we say that, and we don't really even, amongst us, know exactly what that answer is, because it's so wide and it's so varying, and there's so many different types of play going on today. Just from card games all the way up through social games, through free-to-play games, and then through console games, all of them. And what we have is basically the smart device is as powerful now as what our previous generations of hardware consoles were. And so it's more and more it's blurring the line. And when I look at some of the latest things they're taking advantage of, like Tegra, I just don't expect it. When I look at what Unreal's technology is doing now on Tegra, I didn't expect to see that. I didn't expect to see Stranger taking advantage of its particle effects, of the layers of transparency, of the self-shadowing calculations. These are all things that we just didn't expect, and here they are. So what the future is, I think, gets very, very fuzzy, very hard to predict, because what I think the future is that IP will be something that is more of a nebulous idea, and you access it through different pay grades, through different price points of hardware. So at the highest level, you might be on a PS4 or the latest Steam box of, completely built out. But the future is we'll be accessing that IP. You might not be having the highest resolution experience, but now the devices are getting close enough between mobile and the latest, greatest console or the latest, greatest PC. It's getting close enough that as you access that IP, you might be accessing the same experience, just with a slightly different rendering capability. And that's really interesting, because what possibilities does that add up? And when I saw like Battlefield at E3 this year, and they were calling it an iStrack, so someone's playing on a PS4 in a huge group mode, and then someone else is having their wife dial in on an iPad to do an airstrike within that world, we get closer to blurring the lines between multi-devices of different caliber and different capacities being able to interface a world with mutually gratifying experiences for the user. So the key is, like, did it really come down as a quality experience because the latest Tegra was not the latest PS4, as an example, right? And you're finding out the answer is no. It's not coming down in experience, as long as the designers, as long as the people developing it are building in the hooks to really treat each device with care, with appreciation for the audience that has that device. And that's what I think more and more the future is going to be about. Exactly what platform is this new IP on? I think it'll be more of a cloud sort of idea, and then you'll access it through different degrees of resolution based on how much you're investing in hardware to get there.